Sheikh asked me how I was doing this morning. And I told him that I was confused. I was confused because I didn't know exactly which direction that I wanted to go. I know that the way that I had planned may have been too harsh. It may have stepped on some people's toes. It may have made some people mad. And that's not what our purpose here is all about. We are here as a brotherhood. We are here as a compact wall, standing and working together, working out our difficulties and overcoming those difficulties. Why? Because we are the chosen ones. We are gods and goddesses and the elect of God. I chose as my subject this morning, and I said, I brought everything here. Prelude to the lesson. Wondering about. Wondering about. What is that all about? Wondering about. How a person can wander around in their minds because they are confused about an issue. And as a result, you wonder about this and you wonder about that. And as a result, all of that wondering has a tendency to confuse you and take you that much further away from the truth. So what is the determining factor that tells the truth about that particular wandering? The Rasul, peace be upon him, the Fahami Gospel. There is nothing in the Fahami Gospel that permits us to wonder about anything. It tells us specifically what we should do in case of certain things that happen in our lives. And it's there. All we have to do is search hard. Sometimes we gloss over it, and you don't see it, but it's there. There is no dignity in wondering about. There's nothing dignified about wondering about. Once you have given an explanation for a thing, accept that and don't wonder about it. Don't have to go to Google. Don't have to go to the website, because if you're going to them, whose word are you taking for it? We're not here to mislead you. We're not here to lie to you, take you down a forbidden path. We are here with you. Whatever befriends you, befriends us also. There is no dignity, I will repeat it. There is no dignity in wandering about. Thus, there is no self-respect, character, or manner, or stateliness, degree of worth, honor, or importance in wandering about, because it causes a person to deviate from a true course and depart from a fixed abode, migrate. Wondering about causes us to set up other opinions about the very thing that we have learned. The Rasul, peace be upon his words were explicit in some of the explanations that he gave about a certain thing. We listened to a tape the other day by Dr. Ben. I've never heard Dr. Ben before. And I was truly entertained by Dr. Ben. When I stopped and I wanted to put Dr. Ben in the same perspective as I would put my Rasul, peace be upon him. The Rasul claims to be the vice regent of the entire Hamite pantheon. Truly, a God and a Son of God. And his words are words spoken as a God here on this earth. We were very fortunate. We were very fortunate to have God come to us in the form of a body, in the form of a man. Dr. Benz, as I said, and other speakers who may speak more elegantly than us here in Fahmy Islam. But can they give a better truth than what we are delivering? Nay. Can they tell it any better than what we are telling it? Therefore, when the young man came and said, what we need is a teacher, how did you know that? How do you know we need a teacher? What is it that you're telling that needs to be taught in a more different way? I thought about that. I didn't take exception to it, but I thought about it. Here's someone come from outside to say, you all need a better teacher. How do you know what kind of teacher that we have? Is this Christianity? No. Is this Islam?
Yes.
Is it of Isis Eliyahu?
Yes.
And who can dispute that? Yeah. Is Fahmy any of the 72 different denominations of Islam?
No.
Ours is an altogether different world. So we are recreating ourselves every day, every time we come here. We are recreating ourselves. We are formulating what we are and how we go about doing what we do. Because the pattern never was set there. Wondering about causes a person to become delirious. Delirious in facts. Delirious in this, delirious in that. Delirious to the point where you don't know exactly what point you're going to accept. And as a result, whose interpretation does this benefit? Does it benefit you as a race of people? You as a Hamite? Or does it benefit you as another good Christian? We are trying to get away from that Christian philosophy as much as we possibly can, even though it is inbred in us. We've had more than 2,000 years of this particular philosophy inbred in us. We know that it's going to be a difficult time trying to get rid of that and replace that with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that is peculiar to ourselves. Causes wondering about, causes a person to become delirious, which puts that person in a position to go out of their minds. You're trying to find out this and you're trying to find that, and we're all seeking. Everybody's trying to find out what it is. When are you going to find out what it is and accept what it is and move on? Or do you need another explanation? And another explanation requires you to give me another explanation. And another explanation. And on goes this delirious thought. To deviate is to turn from a prescribed or right way. What is the right way? What is the right way? The right way is the way that was prescribed by your Rasul, peace be upon him, in your Fahmy gospel. That is the right way. If you are not following that way, then you have deviated from the way. We're going to get back into that in a minute. To deviate is to turn from a prescribed or right way. Physically, mentally, or morally, which is usually in or unfavorable sense. I hear the God knocking. Did anybody hear that knock? They're trying to get in here. Them spirits is trying to turn us around. They don't want us to be nothing. They want us to cause us to deviate. Because being normal in sense, one can use power of the mind to know what is happening outside of itself. By the feeling that is produced through the senses of feeling called touch. That's how the God on the inside of you finds out what is going on the outside of your body. It finds out by the sense of touch. By the sense of touch. By the sense of what we call feelings. Feelings. That's another thing. I feel fine. If feelings are the sense of touch, what is this other feeling? I feel it down in my heart. In reality, what is in your heart but a strong muscle that's pumping blood? Ain't no love down in there and nothing else. It pumps blood. It does what it's supposed to do. It does its job. By the feeling that is produced through the senses of feeling called touch. Because of the sense of feeling, the soul on one's conscience will have the realization of what is sensible, reasonable, or intelligent. Being sensible is having or showing good judgment that can be perceived by the sense of touch. There the person becomes sensitive, which receives impressions readily through the imagination, which is an imagining power of forming pictures in the thought of things that are not present in the sense nerve of the central nerve system. The sixth sense, because the five senses are applied to all beasts. Animal has five senses just like a human has five senses. At least that's what they say. We know that the human has more sense than that. We have to have more sense than that to be dominant over all of these creatures. God gave man dominion over all creatures. Even though we are creatures also, he gave us the power to perceive. He gave us the power of what? Consciousness and imagination. They both possess all the qualities or features, things that stand out and attract attention. Of all kinds of plants, did you ever think that a plant thinks? As man produces all kinds of children, of features, by nature, the plants, large or small, display moral strength or weaknesses by the way they act to attract attention, their beauty and features. Do you think that plant outside is just beautiful just to look at? Or is it beautiful because it is beautiful to attract something? Everything is done for a purpose. Nothing is done randomly, not for a purpose. Everything is done. Nature gives us trees out there with leaves on it for a purpose. We see this. We see the power of God through vegetation. These are special features of plants and man alike that make one person or plant different from others. A person and plant life alike does attract attention because he or the plant alike is different or queer. Plants are all different kinds of colors, all different kinds of shapes. Why? Which gives a description of a person or plant's qualities. the characteristic of plant life and that of man has personalities, individualities. Individualities of man has personalities, I'll repeat, and individualities, nature and temperament that distinguishes them from other men and plants alike. This is a natural characteristic of plant, man, beast. We thank you. There's no dignity in wondering about it.
Yeah.
Some people wonder why we are not out there protesting. Did you not realize that for Ahmadiyya Islam is a protest? Did you not realize that we are protesting, that you becoming members here, that is a spiritual protest. We have been protesting ever since the advent that the Rasul brought forth this message to us, a protest, a peaceful protest.
Kuha.
So that particular protest is just as dynamic as the one of breaking somebody's window and causing some kind of outlawry. I know we feel that because my brothers and my sisters are out there. We feel the pain of police brutality and other brutality. We feel that. Some of these people are my parents. Some of these people are my relatives. Some of these people are my neighbors. I feel that. But I also feel that is not our way. That is not our way. We are speaking about the way. What way is going to be more successful? The big picture as opposed to the little picture. The little picture is we get the ear of our oppressors. But what has happened? Next year, 6 months from now, the oppressors are still doing the same doggone thing. Still doing the same thing because he knows that after a period of time, you're going to forget all about it and go back to doing the same thing. We've been doing this for more than 2,000 years because we don't understand the importance of what we have.
Alhamdulillah.
You don't understand the importance of what you have. Brothers, you have made the greatest discovery that you ever thought that you wanted to make. That is, you found a God of your own.
Alhamdulillah.
You found the language of your own. You found the history of your own. What greater thing can you possibly give?
There's none greater.
Can Dr. Ben give us this? Dr. Ben can entertain us. Dr. Ben can make us laugh. Some of these other people that you name, books that we have a tendency to want to lean on them for our information. They can give that to us, and we came along and dared them to be what? Culture clubs. Culture club that's speaking after the fact. Did you say this before 1919? Did you say this before the advent of the Rasul, peace be upon him? Or did you say it after the fact? After someone else said it, then you came along and said it. As though it's your very own idea. As I said, I came fired up this morning.
Muhammad.
That was not my original subject.
It's all right.
I wanted to tone it down some. As I said, brothers, I'm not mad at you. And I hope that you don't get mad at me for saying what I'm saying. Because you did put me in a position up here. Did you want me to be a rubber stamp?
No, sir.
Or did you want me to speak the truth?
I'm doing.
I ain't coming out till everybody else come out. It's an old adage. What is God? If God and man are one and the same thing, then the man God has power to control life and death. Right?
Yeah.
That is an live 20 years longer in order to finish what he left undone. I'm speaking from the mouth of the writer, I met a high priest of Anu, and he made an attempt to relieve me of my body. But it was not ready to be relieved. I also met with other gods whom could relieve me of a whipping then, just stood and looked at me. I also visited a temple where they were embalming a dead body. This experience gave rise that the little man I saw with a large head who refused me the secrets of embalming and mummification. I also visited the temple of Hathor and saw the black bull of Minerva. I also visited a meeting of some of the ancients. They pointed to me out as being somewhat of a Tutankhamun in image, but I had not the knowledge of him, and I got nowhere in this experience. I saw the power of transparent God behind the sun, and saw that spirit exercising its power over one of its followers in Fahamism. This determination showed me that this person in some way was trying to be as wise as Sufi, the builder of the Great Pyramid of Cheops. Sufi was a master of astroscience or astronomy. This pyramid holds today a great secret. If only the white race could master this pyramid's secret, they could rule the four corners of the world. A God's arm and hand went up a pole showing what the triangle meant and gave no information of this action. You got it on your face. I was shown the gardens of Darussalam. All that I have seen in visions and dreams, I was not given any understanding of their message. Why? Because they saw that I was not a prophet and held the secrets. The God of old was the sun, S-U-N, and astronomy, which was all that was necessary at that time. The coming of Paul Nathaniel Johnson, Assalamu Wassalamu, our God is now a hidden treasure, and we are to find it. We are looking in the direction, but it is hidden from us. Yet we must, as a black race, will have to strive hard with our energy to find it. This action will put our God this time out of reach of all nations. And that is why the prophet said, what the world needs today is a religion of all the people and recognize equally all prophets. Did you not say this?
I did.
By this action, the race once again becomes the leaders of all the rest of the nations. We thank you. It could not happen as long as we, the black race in America and in Africa, remain spellbound by the slave owners' world's attraction. Yes, they give the Afro-American to an extent a little more out than France, Italy, and England in order to control this thinking. We are bound by everybody's attraction but one of our own. Brainwashing on Negroes has been a success by the slave owners. Since we have demonstrated a number of things, let us look into the worlds of the Bibles. We have the Hamite Bible. We have the Japanese Bible. We have the Chinese Bible. We have the Greek Bible. We have the Roman Bible. We have the Justin's Bible. We have the Bible of the Jews. We have now the Fahami Bible, which is the Bible of understanding all the rest. What bothers me is that the history of them are BC and has no place in a modern world, for they all are outdated. What was said in those days has no place in the world of now. All the things they are teaching are of the past. God cannot change the condition of a people until they change their own condition. Which means God, the ruler of the world, cannot put something in the place of another thing, parenthesis, whatever is spoken of or thought of, fact, event, idea, until we put some value of importance in the place of another and become different in our appearance. This is the Son's formula for helping a person, because it is the Father of all life, all light and all energy, which means it is the head and ruler of all things of existence, of being alive in bodies, as of animals and plants. All life, all light, which comes down from the flight and penetrates all darkness, all energy, which is actual strength, force, and power to push forward, to keep people in darkness, is to keep them ignorant and without information.
Yeah.
It's in very, it's in our opinion. I thank you.
Sublime.
Thank you.